I'm still nursing a hangover, but I'm feeling good. And now that I'm done sharing with all the memes and jokes today, let's talk more seriously about this result and Brexit in science. So, firstly, is the youth vote. 72% turnout, that's thumping. That's what everyone was looking for, because that was what would make the difference between a hung parliament and a landslide. And the youth hit the snooze button in 2015. They hit the snooze button again in 2016, and now that the alarm was blaring again in 2017, were they going to get up? And they did. And it's great to have that new force on the political scene. It does invigorate things, it does wake everyone up, and because the youth are so much more pro-European, as in they want to keep their freedom of movement rights and they're not so anti-immigration, we want to work with our neighbours, this really does change the political dynamic to have the youth vote really there now as a force. The other thing is the tabloid press. And recently the tabloid press have been absolutely despicable in terms of how they were talking about Corbyn and how they were talking about the 48% or just any variation from May's line, you know, or the crush the saboteurs kind of stuff. Well, this is great because it's shown that despite all the smear campaigning and the aggressive tactics, they don't have the purchase on the populace that they thought they did. All these rich, you know, billionaires looking to control the direction of our country. So to have that stranglehold broken is great, because it means that they can't corral this government down their path as strongly as they could before. That's very important. With regard to the UKIP vote, it slipped a lot. I mean, I'm for everyone who has an opinion actually having representation of that. So I don't like to see parties totally crushed out, unless, of course, their support is evaporating because their ideas aren't holding up. And I hope that that's more the case. So the reason why a hung parliament is better than May landslide is, of course, as we've said before, it stops her being able to be secretive and driving it down the path that she wanted, corralled by the tabloid press. Now she actually has to work with others in a much more delicate situation, and so all interests of the country is sort of better represented. Yes, I know she's going to coalition with the DUP and their climate change skeptics and their anti-gay marriage and anti-abortion and even creationists, and so our scientists obviously have to rise up and challenge that. But nevertheless, because it is such a frail majority, there is still this driving force that means that the Brexit is going to have to be softer, particularly with the Irish interests in mind, and particularly because she is hamstrung by such a low majority that she is really going to have to look at other parties and look broader to the population as to what we can do that kind of balances everyone's interests going forward. So, science, the Conservative manifesto is still strong on investment in science, but absolutely harebrained in terms of the European Court of Justice and also the immigration policy. And if May does go, she has been the one that has been championing this absolutely bizarre immigration policy. So watch out for that one as well. What can the science community do? Well, at the end of the day, we've got to keep doing what we have been doing, and that's communicating to the public the value of investment in research and innovation in order for jobs and growth and better quality of life, the importance of international collaboration on sharing infrastructure and policy and yada yada, all of this. Keep communicating that, keep pushing it to the fore, make sure our European colleagues are doing the same, because at the end of the day, in this new circumstance, we really can start discussing what are the new frameworks of European and global collaboration that we want to set up from here. So everything's open, there's a lot to play for, and that's about it for now.